Speaker sir, I rise to support the historic 126th Constitutional Amendment Bill 2019 to extend the reservation for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe under Article 334 of Constitution for the next 10 years. The reservation for SCs and STs in Lok Sabha and the state assemblies was to expire by January 2020, and this new bill will extend the reservation for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe community by next 10 years, that is till January 2030. Sir, our government after coming to power has done a lot for the welfare and the development of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. The Narendra Modi-led government has shown its tireless commitment for the welfare and upliftment of the SCs and STs. Sir, today we know where the SCs and the tribal people stand and what their situation is. Despite 70 years of independence, we have not been able to provide equal level playing field for the SCs and STs as that of the people belonging to the general category. Sir, if you see the Human Development Index of particularly those areas where the SCs and STs reside, we can clearly see that the areas where the tribals live or where the scheduled caste communities live, the Human Development Index is way much less than what is in the general areas. Sir, also one program which is recently started by our Prime Minister Modi ji about the development of the aspirational districts. Most of the districts in the aspirational districts, that are around 110 districts, most of the districts are tribal areas. And sir, from this we can definitely make out that the tribal areas and the areas of the scheduled caste people are the ones which are yet to be developed. Sir, I come from a tribal area, and being a doctor, I would like to also speak about the health sector, particularly in the tribal areas. So, if you see in most of the tribal areas, we'll see a very strange picture. We will see most of the children suffering from malnutrition, girls, women suffering from anemia. There is a high rate of maternal mortality. There's a high rate of neonatal mortality. सर, मैं जिस ट्राइबल क्षेत्र की प्रतिनिधि हूँ, मैं थोड़ा हमारे क्षेत्र के आरोग्य की स्थिति के बारे में भी ये बताना चाहूँगी कि कई साल पहले इन सभी ट्राइबल एरियाज में कनेक्टिविटी का एक बहुत बड़ा प्रॉब्लम होता था। अगर कोई बीमार है, अगर कोई पेशेंट है, अगर कोई महिला को डिलीवरी के लिए हॉस्पिटल जाना है, तो उनके गांव तक, उनकी बस्ती तक किसी भी प्रकार की एम्बुलेंस या कोई भी गाड़ी उनके गांव तक नहीं जा पाती थी। और इसके कारण ट्राइबल एरियाज में एक बैम्बुलेंस का एक नया कंसेप्ट आया, जिसमें बैम्बू बांस के स्ट्रेचर्स बनाए जाते हैं, उस पे पेशेंट को डाल के कई किलोमीटर्स तक पेशेंट को उठा के लेके जाते हैं। तो सर, ये जो बैम्बुलेंस का जो कल्चर ट्राइबल एरियाज में था, ये केवल हमारे महाराष्ट्र में ही नहीं, आप पूरे देश भर के ट्राइबल एरियाज में अगर आप देखेंगे जहां कनेक्टिविटी का प्रॉब्लम है, इसी तरह से पेशेंट्स को कई किलोमीटर्स तक उठाकर हॉस्पिटल तक लेकर जाया जाता था। सर, मैं खास करके हमारे सरकार का और मोदी जी का मैं धन्यवाद करना चाहूंगी कि इन सभी ट्राइबल एरियाज में जो कनेक्टिविटी का प्रॉब्लम था, वो आज दूर करने का काम हमारी सरकार ने किया है। और इसके कारण आज इन ट्राइबल एरियाज में, इन ट्राइबल बस्तियों में रोड्स बने हैं जहां एम्बुलेंस उन लोगों के घर तक जा सकती है। अगर जहां पे कनेक्टिविटी नहीं थी, वहां तक आज हम अलग अलग माध्यम से पेशेंट्स को लाने की व्यवस्था भी हो रही है। सर, मैं मेरे राज्य महाराष्ट्र के लिए हमारी केंद्र सरकार ने खास करके आर्टिकल 275(1) जो ट्राइबल एरियाज के लिए फंड्स दिया जाता है, उसके माध्यम से एम्बुलेंस की सुविधा ट्राइबल एरियाज में शुरू की है, जिसको हम अटल आरोग्य वाहिनी के नाम से आज वहां पे प्रचलित है। सर, इसी के साथ ट्राइबल और एससी फैमिलीज, ज्यादातर फैमिलीज ये लोअर सोशो इकोनॉमिक ग्रुप को बिलोंग करती है, और इसलिए इन फैमिलीज में अगर कोई बीमार होता है तो उनके लिए हॉस्पिटल का खर्चा उठाना बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता था। आज आयुष्मान भारत जैसी योजना लाकर सरकार ने सही रूप से एससी और एसटी कम्युनिटीज को न्याय देने का काम हमारे सरकार ने किया है। मैं सरकार का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देना चाहूंगी। सर, इसी के साथ साथ अनदर इम्पोर्टेंट सेक्टर इज एजुकेशन। Sir, while talking about education, I would also like to highlight some of the numbers, particularly the literacy rate of our country right from independence till date. I would like to mention, sir, in 1961, the literacy rate of the general population was 27.86%. Those of the scheduled caste was 10.27%, and those for the scheduled tribe was 8.53%. In 1871, it was 33.80%. For the general population, for the scheduled caste, it was 14.67%. For the scheduled tribes, it was 11.30%. Sir, in 1991, the general population literacy rate was 52.2%. For the scheduled caste was 32.5%, and for the scheduled tribes was 29.60%. And sir, in 2011, if we see the general population literacy rate is 73%, those of SCs is 66%, and those of STs is 59%. So from these numbers, it is very clear that still the SC and ST communities in terms of education is way behind the general population. And sir, while talking about education, I would also like to mention about the school dropouts taking place in the tribal areas. Sir, our government has now initiated a program of Eklavya model residential schools, of opening new tribal English medium residential schools in every block which has a population of at least 50% tribals, or 20,000 tribals are residing in those blocks. And sir, now because of this, a lot of tribal children who used to go from their house to the school, and then after certain years they used to drop out. Now because of this residential school facility, a lot of tribal children are now staying in those English medium residential schools. They are getting good quality education, and sir, we are today trying to mold these children into those who can clear exams like IITs, who can clear exams like NEET, who can clear exams like UPSC. And sir, I very proudly can say, in one of the Eklavya model residential school in my constituency, one tribal boy has got admission into IIT in Assam. And I, as being a tribal, I really feel proud that a tribal boy from my constituency can qualify in IIT also. So while talking about education, I also would like to mention about the skill training program which is being initiated by our government, particularly for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. And not just the skill training, but after that boy or the girl, he gets a skill training. There are programs like Mudra Loan, there are programs like Startup India, there are programs like Stand Up India, where these boys and girls belonging to SC, ST categories are getting an opportunity to become entrepreneurs as well and provide job to more and more such boys and girls belonging to SCs and STs. Sir, also sir, I would like to draw the attention of the House to the fact that while talking about education, there's a huge backlog also, a lot of vacancies also of the SCs and STs in different sectors in the country. I would like to thank the government. They have started carrying out special drives for filling in the vacancies, the recruitment drive. Recently, the Railway Ministry had started a recruitment drive for the SCs, STs, women and the general category people. And so with this, I also would like to bring to the notice of our government and also Honorable Minister a concern that while filling in these vacancies, some issues have come up, particularly when it comes to the tribal. Many candidates who apply in the tribal category are not originally tribals. They get jobs or they get admissions in the medical colleges, engineering colleges. Once they get admission, if there is some complaint or if there is some inquiry into that, what happens? These people go to the court, they move the court gives directive, okay, they've taken admission, they've already studied for 1 year or they have already got jobs, so let us continue them. And because of this, this is actually creating a problem, this is actually creating injustice to those who originally belong to the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. So sir, through you, I would like to request Honorable Minister to bring in a strict legislation where candidates belonging to SC and ST category, only they can apply, and there should be, sir, I come from the state of Maharashtra where there's a caste validity provision. If somebody has a caste certificate, only on the caste certificate that person cannot apply for a job or cannot admission. So this caste validity is done through a proper scrutiny committee which inquires into each case individually. Sir, I will request Honorable Minister to bring in a legislation where all over the country, in every state, there is a scrutiny committee which can see who is original candidate and then give a caste validity to that person, so that only those who belong to the original scheduled caste and scheduled tribe would get justice. Sir, also along with this, I would also like to request through you to the Honorable Minister to bring in a legislation particularly for those who are taking admissions and who are not originally tribals or originally SCs. there should be a strict penalty in that cases, and they should be removed immediately. Otherwise, once they are in that place, so there have been cases, people get jobs in particularly banking sector or other sectors, and till they retire, they are in the service and there is no justice given to original candidates, and these bogus people, they continue. So, sir, I will request the minister to also kindly look into this. Sir, I very proudly can say today in this parliament, we have 47 tribal MPs. We have 84 MPs who are from the scheduled caste community. In the state assembly, sir, out of 4,120, there are 614 candidates who belong to scheduled caste, 554 candidates who belong to the scheduled tribe. And sir, these all MLAs or these all members of parliament, they are actually the voice of the tribals and SCs of the country. There are so many issues of the tribal areas. We need a representation at the state and the central level. And today our government, by bringing this amendment, 126th amendment to the constitution, has in a true sense given justice to the SC and ST community of the country. Sir, the Modi government has continuously shown its commitment towards the welfare upliftment of the tribals and the SCs. Sir, there was a housing scheme earlier also. Before Modi government came to power, the earlier governments had housing scheme, they had electrification scheme, they had drinking water scheme. But sir, they were never implemented in a true sense. There was a housing scheme, but not many tribals or not many SCs could get houses. After Modi ji came to power, he brought in the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. In a fixed time frame, the housing scheme is to be complete. That is by 2022, Housing for All. This program is being implemented by the government. Sir, the Ayushman Bharat Yojana, universal health coverage for all the poor and the underprivileged. The Saubhagya Yojana, that is the electrification scheme. Sir, in this Saubhagya Yojana, I can very proudly say, in my own constituency, 1,10,000 houses have been electrified by March 2019. And sir, these houses were unelectrified all these 70 years of independence. And right now, after Modi ji came to power, Modi ji brought in the Saubhagya Yojana, and in a fixed time frame by March 2019, these all programs of electrification were completed. Sir, also along with this, in tribal areas, because people live in hamlets, there is a drinking water issue. Most of the tribal families, they have to bring water from a distance. Now by bringing drinking water scheme, Ghar Jal, every house is now going to get pure drinking water, pure potable drinking water, and this is definitely going to help the tribal and the SC families which had to struggle for drinking water, particularly in the summer season where they had to, especially the women, they had to walk for kilometers and bring water for their house. Sir, also I would also like to congratulate the government for increasing the budgetary allocation for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. Sir, if you see consistently over the last 5 years, every year the budgetary allocation for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes is increasing. In fact, in the last 5 years, I can very proudly say it's almost gone to the double of what was there in 2014. And coming from a tribal area, I feel proud that my government is working with a commitment towards the tribals and the SCs. Sir, I also would like to urge the government to look into the fact that in the states also, like the central government is giving budgetary allocation, in the states also there is a directive of the central government to the states that in every state the budgetary allocation should be based on the percentage of the tribal and the SC population of that state. But unfortunately not many states are following that. So I will request the central government to also make a strict legislation that the states also follow the same rule as the central government is following. And sir, along with this, I also would like to highlight the fact that why this political reservation for the SCs and STs was important. First thing, sir, the SCs and STs will find a place in the government as representatives of the SCs and STs, but historically those disadvantaged groups who never had that representation earlier, and now they are here to express the agony and hardship of the tribals and the SCs. Sir, also, sir, I would like to speak about one of my colleagues who just spoke from the opposition bench. I was listening to him very carefully, And sir, while speaking, I was really disappointed to see that my friend from the opposition had more concern about 296 people rather than the 30 crore SC/STs of the country. So sir, I would request my friend from the opposition also that when we are talking of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, they should also have Vishwas in our government and also should think. And sir,
She will be the next speaker. Yeah.
sir, lastly, sir, I would like to once again congratulate the government for bringing in this reservation for next 10 years and also taking into consideration the issues, the problems related to SCs and ST communities of the country. Thank you very much.